Have you ever wondered why some couples thrive while others seem to fall apart? It's not about never fighting. Here is a spoiler alert. Everyone fights. The secret lies in how you fight. Fighting isn't the villain it's made out to be. In fact, when done right, it can be the glue that strengthens your relationship. Yes, you heard me right. Conflict, handled the right way, can bring you closer, not push you apart. But what happens when your arguments start feeling toxic, when the same patterns keep popping up, and the fights leave you feeling more disconnected? That's where the Four Horsemen of relationship demise come in, and understanding them might just change everything for you. Welcome to the Pinch of Wisdom show, where we take life's complexities and break them into actionable insights you can use to live better, love better, and thrive in every aspect of your life. I'm your host, Cleon Vera, and today we're tackling one of the most transformative lessons in relationships: how to recognize and replace the Four Horsemen of relationship demise. Doctors Julie and John Gottman spent decades studying relationships and found that it's not fighting itself that damages relationships, it's the way we fight. The Four Horsemen, criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling, are toxic behaviors that predict the end of a relationship if left unchecked. But here's the good news. Each one has an antidote, and today we're breaking down exactly how to implement those antidotes in your own life. And if you've ever felt stuck in a cycle of unproductive arguments or wondered if there's a better way to handle conflict, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. First on the list, criticism or the character attack. Criticism is one of the most common horsemen, and it happens when we attack our partner's character rather than addressing a specific behavior. It's like pointing a finger at them and saying, "You're the problem." Here is how it looks like. Why are you so irresponsible? You never pay the bills on time. You're so selfish. You never think about anyone else. And here is why it's damaging. Criticism sends the message that your partner is flawed. Over time, it chips away at their sense of safety and belonging in the relationship. It also invites defensiveness, which can spiral arguments out of control. Here is the antidote. Replace criticism with a gentle startup. Focus on how you feel and what you need without blaming your partner. Using I statements can help keep the conversation productive. You can try this instead. "I feel stressed when the bills aren't paid on time. Can we set reminders together to stay on top of it? I feel hurt when I don't feel heard. Can we work on listening to each other more?" Here is an action step that can help you. The next time you feel the urge to criticize, pause and ask yourself, "Am I focusing on the problem or am I attacking my partner?" Reframe your statement to address the behavior, not their character. Now consider this reflective question. Think back to your last disagreement. Did you criticize your partner's character, even unintentionally? How could you reframe your complaint using an I statement? 2. Contempt, the relationship killer. Contempt is like criticism's meaner, nastier sibling. It adds a layer of superiority and disrespect through sarcasm, name-calling, or even mockery. Here is how it looks like. Oh, great, another genius idea from you. Sometimes eye-rolling, smirking, or making cutting remarks like, "Why do I even bother talking to you? Why is this damaging?" Contempt is the strongest predictor of relationship failure because it conveys disrespect and disgust. It sends a message that your partner isn't worthy of your love or respect, and that kind of negativity is hard to recover from. And the antidote to the relationship killer: replace contempt with appreciation. Focus on your partner's positive qualities and express gratitude regularly, even for small things. Try things like this instead. "I appreciate how hard you've been working lately. Let's figure out how to tackle this together. I know we don't always agree, but I value the way you stay committed to finding solutions." Here is an actionable step. Make it a daily habit to express gratitude for something your partner does, no matter how small. This helps to build a culture of appreciation and reduces the likelihood of contempt creeping in. Consider this reflective question. Are there moments when contempt shows up in your arguments? How can you consciously replace it with appreciation? The third one, Defensiveness, call it the blame game. Defensiveness often happens when we feel attacked, but it only escalates the conflict. It might sound like, well, I wouldn't have forgotten if you had reminded me. Oh, so now it's all my fault. What about when you messed up last week? Here is why the blame game is damaging. Defensiveness shifts blame instead of taking responsibility. This not only frustrates your partner, but also prevents real resolution. It's like playing a game where nobody wins. Here is the antidote. Practice accepting responsibility for your part in the conflict, even if it's small. This doesn't mean taking all the blame. It means owning your role and showing willingness to make things better. Consider trying this instead. You're right, I forgot to handle that. Let me fix it now. I can see how what I said hurt you. I'm sorry for that. Here is your reflective question. The next time you feel defensive, pause and ask yourself, what part of this situation can I own? How might that shift the conversation? The fourth horseman, stonewalling, or call it the emotional shutdown. Stonewalling happens when one partner withdraws from the conversation, either physically or emotionally. It often looks like avoiding eye contact, crossing arms, or staying silent, leaving the room without explanation. Here is why it's damaging. Stonewalling usually happens when someone feels overwhelmed, but it leaves the other partner feeling ignored and abandoned. Over time, unresolved issues pile up, creating emotional distance. The antidote to stonewalling is to self-soothe and re-engage. When you feel overwhelmed, take a break to calm down, but always commit to returning to the conversation. Try this instead. I'm feeling really overwhelmed right now. Can we take a 15-minute break and then talk? I need a moment to process my thoughts. Let's revisit this soon. Here are some action steps to take. Pay attention to your body during conflicts. If your heart rate spikes or you feel flooded, pause, breathe, and return to the discussion once you're calm. Consider this reflective question. When you feel the urge to stonewall, how can you communicate your need for a break in a way that reassures your partner? Conflict is a part of every relationship, but the four horsemen, criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling, don't have to be. By recognizing these behaviors and replacing them with their antidotes, you can turn even the toughest disagreements into opportunities for connection and understanding. Here is a question to reflect on. Which of these horsemen do you recognize in your relationship? What's one antidote you can practice today to create a more positive dynamic? If this episode sparked insight or made you think differently about conflict, share it with someone who might benefit. And if you try out any of these antidotes, I'd love to hear how it goes. Tag us at Pinch of Wisdom on social media and share your story. Thank you for joining me, Cleon Vera, on the Pinch of Wisdom show. Remember, every challenge is an opportunity to grow, and every argument can lead to deeper understanding if you let it. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep adding a pinch of wisdom to your day.